Hey guys, Brian Taylor here with Dreamline Realty in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we have new data that was just released for the Charlotte housing market, and I want to bring you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as we head into the fall months, will these cooler temperatures help cool down the red hot sellers market that we've experienced over the last 18 months? Well, that's what we're talking about today, and we'll break it all down right now. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into the September housing market data. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel or you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner of your screen and then click the bell so you'll be notified when I release these market updates every month, along with the other videos that I release every week where we talk about real estate topics to help our buyers and sellers. And if you like the video, click the like button and also leave a comment below about your thoughts on the housing market and where you think we're headed going forward. I'm very curious to hear what you have to say. All right, the data we are looking at covers the entire Charlotte region, including 12 counties around the Charlotte area in North Carolina and 4 counties in South Carolina. And remember, the data that we're talking about is through August, so it's always 1 month in arrears. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The first thing we'll look at is new listings. And once again, this number is going up, which is great news for buyers. So new listings were up 5.3% from August of last year, as we saw 5,996 sellers put their house on the market. And here's why this number is important. In July, new listings were also up 5.2%, which indicates we are heading in the right direction. In fact, this is the 3rd month in a row that we've seen an increase in new listings, which is a welcome sign from where we have been over the last 12 months. But with that said, we're a long way from getting back to a normal market, but these small improvements over time should slowly help us claw our way out of the severe inventory shortage that we're in right now. Next is pending sales. Pending sales were up 6.9%, which is actually 5.9% higher than last month. So even though we have more listings hitting the market, this stat tells us that people are still buying these houses at a record pace, and they're definitely not staying on the market very long, which we'll talk about days on the market in just a moment. And following the same trend is closed sales. So naturally, if pending sales have increased, closed sales should also follow that same path. And that's what we're seeing here with a 3.5% increase year over year. Okay, since we just mentioned it, let's talk about days on market, which currently stands at 14 days. And this number didn't move much since last month. So even though we have an increase in listings, the buyer demand is so high right now that these houses are still selling in record time. And yes, we are still seeing multiple offers in all price ranges and many houses selling for well above asking price. Next, let's talk about average list price. The average list price sits at $396,648, which is an increase of almost $38,000 from a year ago. But when we look back at that 2019 number, that's an increase of $72,000 in just 2 years. And these types of numbers don't show any signs of slowing down. In the months ahead, we expect the average list price to cross over $400,000 and likely continue to increase from there. And again, with a shortage of inventory, buyers paying over asking price, and interest rates remaining low, there's almost no way to slow this train down in the near future. And when we look at the average sales price, we see the same trend. The average sales price rose by 12.2% and sits at $393,085. And that takes us to the percent of list price received, and this number continues to remain strong. As mentioned, sellers are still getting well over asking price in most cases, and on average that equates to sellers getting 101.5% of what they asked for their house. Now, one thing we have noticed over the last few weeks is an increase in the number of properties that have taken price decreases. And this tells us that some sellers have really tried to come into this market hot and take advantage of the market, but they've priced their house too high and have realized that buyers aren't willing to be stretched that much, and they've had to lower the price to get back to market. We'll have to keep an eye on this going forward because this could be an early sign that the market is starting to cool off. And that takes us to inventory of homes for sale. This number stayed relatively flat from the previous month at 4,069 houses that were available for sale. And the months of supply has also remained the same at 0.8 months. So we have a long way to go, as a normal market is about 5 to 6 months of inventory, but at least we're making some improvements from the 0.5 months of supply that we saw in March of 2021. All right, so that is the September market update. And if you'd like to dive into these stats in more detail, or you would like our help and advice for your own personal situation, our contact information is in the description below. And if you're a first-time home buyer, you may want to check out this video where I bring you my top 5 tips before getting started in your home search. Thanks for watching, make it a great day, and we'll see you again next month.